I brought my journal with me, so I could kind of go through, see if there's anything I want to talk about that's in here. Because I've been having a lot of thoughts lately about various things. And so I've been making little notes. I'm not like doing major journal writing, but I've just been making little notes to myself about things that are coming up for me. And I thought that I would explore them a little bit while I'm eating. I can see that my forehead, I think my forehead's cut off on that one. But I literally have like 2 rocks stacked on top of each other on this picnic table. Because I forgot to bring my, I have a tiny little tripod, but I forgot to bring it. So I just stacked a couple of rocks up. So one thing that I had written down is I was thinking about my YouTube channel. How I've been wanting to do something with it, but not really sure what. And I have all these different ideas and stuff, but I just can't figure out like what I want to do with it exactly. And then I had this thought. I was like, well, I'm not really doing anything right now. Like, all of the ideas that I have are for future me, who has the time and the energy and possibly the finances to do those types of things. But in the meantime, like, I like just making little videos about myself that I know nobody's going to watch, but they're fun for me to do. And I was like, you know what? Like, why can't I not just do whatever I want? Like, this is my current channel that I have is literally bears my name. Like, it's my channel. It's about me. So why can I not just make whatever type of videos that I want? And there doesn't have to be a theme to them. There doesn't have to be aesthetics. There doesn't have to be a schedule. Like, they can literally be whatever I want them to be, because it's just me. It's my channel. It's about me. So maybe sometimes I want to just sit and have a chat with myself and then save it. Like, that's fine. Or maybe I want to go hiking and I want to film my hike. Like, that's fine. Or maybe I just want to film myself cleaning my house. Like, that's fine. I can do whatever I want with it because it's me. And I find that the wind is making my food cold already. But I find that it motivates me a little bit more. Like, if I'm going to be doing a video about something, it motivates me to actually do it. So even when it's something like cleaning out my car, if I film myself doing it, it motivates me to actually do it. If I just say, oh, I'm going to clean out my car, I won't do it. But if I'm like, oh, I'm going to make a video of me cleaning out my car, I do it. So that is something that I am resolving for right now, is to just start making videos of my boring ass life. All right, and then I went on this kick of thinking about simplicity, because I started realizing that, like, life really is very simple. We make it complicated, but life is very, very simple, right? And like, one of the things that I realized one night was I was thinking about, I'm about to quit my job that pays decently. And one of the reasons that I wanted to stick with the job a little bit longer was to pay off my debt. However, I've had the job for 10 months and I have paid off 0 debt. So it's not like I was actually doing it anyway. But that was like the whole reason for me sticking with that job was, well, I'm going to pay off my debt. Once I pay off my debt, then, I can quit. I don't need that much money anymore. And now that I've made the decision to just quit without paying off my debt and work another job that's going to pay a lot less, I started thinking about it and I was like, I'm looking at this the wrong way. Like, I was sitting here thinking that I had to, like, use my paycheck to pay off my debt, when there's other things that I can do. Like, I can come up with other ways to make money and use that to pay off my debt. So my paycheck can be just for my regular bills and my day-to-day living. And then I can come up with something that I can do or sell that will help me to pay off my debt. And I realized, like, I got to thinking about it, because something that I've been kind of trying to get into is designing journals, which I don't want to do because I know, like, one of the things that I keep coming across is, you know, all these stupid videos that are like, oh, make $10,000 a month selling low content journals on Amazon. And like, and then you look into it and it's like, yeah, that's not really a thing that happens. You can't really make that much money, if any money, doing that kind of thing. But I am interested in the idea of journal making, just making something that's more useful, you know, not just selling blank notebooks or blank journals, but actually making useful journals. And so I've been working on some ideas and kind of playing around with it. And like most of the royalties on a journal is like $2 each, around that. Depends on how much you price it at, but it could be like $1, $2, $3, but let's say $2. And I was like, wait, what if I designed like a really cool journal that people actually wanted to buy, and I actually marketed it, and all I would need to sell would be 5,000 copies, and that's $10,000. And then my debt's paid off. Like, that's how simple it could be. I mean, that's not really simple because it's like, you know, it is putting a lot of work into it, but also like, what if I just came up with something? It doesn't necessarily have to be journal, but like other things, like came up with something where I can just make one big chunk of money at once and then use that to pay off my debt. And like, thinking about it in those terms, like, made me feel like, wait, this is actually doable. Instead of like chipping away at my paycheck, like, oh, $100 there, $200 there, whatever, to pay off $10,000. Like, what if I just make a big chunk of money at once? So that's something that I'm hoping to kind of put some effort towards once I'm working this job, and hopefully working a lot less hours, which, let me say, if I am not working less hours at this job, I will quit this job too. Because the thing that is more valuable to me right now than anything else is time. I need time. If I'm toiling away at a $16 an hour job for the majority of my time, then I'm not going to be able to figure out any way to make money on my own. I'm not going to have the energy. I'm not going to have the motivation, because I'm just going to be tired again. So hopefully this job will give me time. And if not, well, I will quit it and I will find a job working with less hours. So something else that I've been thinking about is the possibility of taking like a month off from working. What I'm thinking, like what I would like to do, the way that I would like to do it, is to save up some money I only want to take off about 1 month, but I want to save up about 3 months worth of expenses, so that I got a little bit of padding, like just in case maybe I can't find a job when I'm ready to go back to work, or maybe I want to take off a little extra time. So I'm thinking about trying to save up about $4,500. That would give me 3 months of bills, basically, plus a little bit extra spending money. And then my goal will be that once I have that much saved up, right, no matter what, I will quit whatever job I'm doing at the time, take a month off. I want to work on getting my car set up for camping in, and just take a month off and go travel, stay in campgrounds or whatever, do some hiking, and just not have to do anything for a little bit. Be able to spend some time with myself. And, I don't know, decompress a little bit, I guess. It kind of annoys me that I literally had that. Like, I could have done that while I was unemployed. I mean, I was unemployed for 1.5 years. Like, I could have done something like that during that time. But I think there were some things stopping me. Number one, I had more cats at that time. I have 4 cats. And I would not have wanted to leave them with my sister and have her have to take on 4 cats. Since then, 2 of those cats have died, so now it's just 2 cats. And I know she wouldn't mind taking care of them for like a month for me. if I wanted to get away for a while. But 4 cats was a little too much to ask. Also, looking back at that time, like, I wasn't in a good place mentally. And I didn't know what to do with it. I was still in that mode of thinking that it was, well, I just needed to push myself to change things in my life. So I was constantly like trying to diet. I was constantly trying to come up with like schedules for myself to like exercise and stuff. I was pushing myself to go on like these crazy long walks. Thinking that like I was very motivated to like try to lose weight, which was like not possible the way that I was doing it and in the mindset that I was in, and just all the stress that my body is under and that I've been kept putting it under. Also, like I kept like being down on myself for not being productive and not doing more. So I was just in a really bad mental state. Like looking back, like what I should have been doing was just resting. Like that's what I should have been doing, because I'm like, my whole life has been just me pushing myself constantly. Like I always take on these jobs where I have to work like long hours and have all this responsibility, and I'm under so much stress all the time. I always put myself under stress with these jobs that I do. And what my body needs more than anything right now is deep rest. Like deep rest. And so I think like if I could take like a month, and even though like I do want to go, like I would want to go out and go camping and go to places where I could do hiking. Like it's not like I wouldn't go hiking every day. Like I would probably just set up a nice little sleeping area in my car and just spend a lot of my day just laying down. And when my body feels a little more energetic and it feels like it wants to go on a hike, then I would be somewhere where I could go hiking. But I really want to like tune into my body and do what it needs me to do and what feels good for it. And I think that that's rest. Okay, so this was the main thing that I wanted to talk about today. Well, I gotta eat this chicken. It's so good. I got all the noodles ate. Now I got a bunch of chicken left in here. It's really, really good. Oh, what's up? So, I started thinking about about this idea of simplicity, about how it really is simple. There's not much that you really need in life. We think we need a lot of things, but mostly like we think we need stuff because we're all tired. We're tired and we're unfulfilled, and so we buy a bunch of shit that we don't need in order to fill this emptiness inside of us. But we don't need to be empty. What we need is to not have to waste our lives doing miserable jobs so that other people can make money off of us. Like, that's what we need. But we're not like, but the basic needs that we have are actually very, very simple, right? And all you need to do is fulfill your basic needs in life and just let everything else fall away, or at least for me. Like, I know that that's not, like, I guess when I talk, I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying that this is for everybody, but for me, I just need to have my basic needs fulfilled, and I just need to not have to be a wage slave. That's what I need. And so I was like, okay, I want to think about the basic needs part first, because the whole being a wage slave thing, that's something that I got to figure out a way not to do that. But the basic needs part, like, let me start there. And so I started thinking, okay, like, what is it that I really need in life? I need to eat. I need to drink, right? I need food. And I need water. And like, that's simple, right? Although I make it very complicated, but it really is simple. Because food is everywhere. Food is abundant. And, you know, if you have money, obviously you can go to the grocery store and you just buy food. But then I wanted to think about, like, what if I didn't have money? Like, what if I wasn't able to afford food and water? Would I still be able to obtain them? And the answer is yes. Like, there's, number one, you have food stamps. You want to go that route? I've gone that route before. There have been times in my life where I couldn't afford to buy food and I wasn't making very much money, so I got food stamps. I have done that before. There are food pantries. I've used food pantries before. It's not something I particularly enjoyed doing, but I have done it. And so it's something that I could do again if I needed to. There, you know, and then you can go down the less moralistic route and say, okay, well, you could shoplift. If you needed food really bad, you could just shoplift. Like, not the best option, but there is ways to get food. Like, I don't think that I would ever starve to death, right? Water, same thing. Like, water, I think it's even more abundant. Like, literally, you could go anywhere and get water. For one thing, if you can find a quarter, you can buy a gallon of water. If you have a container and a quarter, you can buy a gallon of water. Like, water's not an issue at all. And even if not, like, I mean, I'm in front of a lake right now. I could go down and get me a pot full of water and boil it, and then I have water to drink, you know? Like, water is definitely not something to even have to worry about. Okay, so what's my next basic needs? Okay, well, I've consumed my food, I've had my water, now I need to expel them, right? That's our next basic need. We need to be able to use the bathroom. Again, not an issue there. There's bathrooms everywhere. You can go into, if you don't have a home, you can go into businesses and use their bathrooms. You can go to a park and use a bathroom, and you can go behind a bush and use a bathroom. Like, that's not an issue at all. Okay, well then what's my next basic need? Well, I need to sleep. Okay, well, I'm lucky enough to have a shelter over my head right now, and I have a bed. So there we go. There's that. If I didn't have that, like, what would I be able to do? Well, you could find a shelter. You could stay with a friend. I'm sure I could find somebody who would let me crash on their couch if I needed to for a few days. And if nothing else, again, you can go find a bush to sleep under. Like, the ground is a bed. Like, there are options for sleeping. So, I mean, that's, to me, like, that's my basic needs, right? Food, water, a bathroom, and a bed. Like, that's it. And it's all there. It's all abundant. There's no problem there. So anything else beyond that, it's just things that I'm seeking for comfort, or to fill a need, to fill an emptiness, you know. But all of that other stuff, like, just complicates things. But I did think about money too. It's like, okay, so what about money? You know, is money a basic need? You know, it definitely makes life easier, for sure. Whoops. Having money definitely makes life easier. You know, it's the difference between being homeless or, like, being like these people over here who have this fancy RV that they're living in, or having a big home to live in, or, like, whatever. So yeah, money obviously makes things better. It makes things comfortable. It's not a necessity, but it can definitely improve your life. But again, like, that boils down to what I was saying before. Like, okay, so yeah, you can have a job, but is that how I want to... Oh, look at my hair. Damn, look, it's hot. Sorry. But is that, like, what I want to do with my life? Like, is that how I want to spend my time on this planet? Selling my time to somebody else for very low wages, honestly. Like, compensation is not that great. Not for, like, all the time and the effort that people put into making money for other people. So is that what I really, really want to do? Obviously, no. So then it just boils down to me figuring out ways to make money and to decide, like, how do I want to live? Like, do I want to just have my basic needs met? Do I want to have a modicum of comfort? Or do I want to live a life of luxury? Well, for me, I don't. No, not a life of luxury. For me, I want just my basic needs to be met. To just, be able to pay for shelter, to be able to buy some groceries, pay for internet, pay for a phone, just the basics. And that's when it comes down to, like, well, okay, so right now, what is that for me? Well, right now for me, that's about $1,500 a month. So all I have to do is figure out a way to make $1,500 a month or $18,000 a year, I guess after taxes. And then that's it. And it's like, okay, so that's what I have to look at. That's what I have to think about. And that's what I have to figure out. Like, how am I going to make that amount of money by myself on my own without having to sell my time to somebody else, and be able to work when I want to work, put in whatever effort I want to put in at the time, and still get to have plenty of time for me. So, and I think that's like, that kind of ties into my whole plan of like taking like a month off, save up some money, take a month off, and just go and sit and think and just let my mind, let my intuition guide me, like, into what I can do to make the money that I need to make in order to survive. Okay, I guess that's it for now.